I mean, it was quite nerve-wracking in the beginning. When Jonathan and I heard that we were going to take over, we weren't quite sure what we were going to do exactly. And then we realized that it's actually a positive thing. It's like a blank page. And we realized that it's actually a very exciting platform that we can use to draw disparate talents to. And it turned out to be more of a collaborative affair, so we can collaborate with artists, motion graphic designers, musicians, etc., etc. And it just became this exciting combination of different talents, and that really became the interesting thing. And we realized that that's the direction that we can head with in future.
I think the network endeavours to put out enough feelers to get as much as we can. I think this year already we were already printed and stuff with most of the material for the showcase, and at the last minute we put another one in because it was just unearthed at that moment. So we still try to accommodate that sort of thing, and I think for the most part, I think the really interesting things that are happening, whether it be some kid in his bedroom who's doing something, it does rise up above most of the rest of the stuff, and I think the network has enough people that are submitting and also looking for relevant pieces that we can then submit and put onto the reel. So I think more often than not we'll probably get about 80% or 90% of the good stuff that's out there.
It's always like it's almost like great work will always rise to the surface, and it's just a case of gathering all those ideas and putting it in one context.
Yeah, and last year the big success was the Daniels, and they've gone on to do some really great work. In fact, they're in huge demand. I think there's Daniel Wolf as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Did the Plan B music video.
Yeah, so there's you can definitely track within the very next year that these people are super busy, and they're just the hot stuff at the moment. So it's really beneficial to those directors who do make it, because in terms of advertising, they get a push into that.
Yeah.
To that world of it.
In the past, it was Spike Jones, Michelle Gondry, Glazer, etc., that were launched by this showcase, and it's quite reassuring to see that every year the same thing happens over and over again. People do definitely go even further after the showcase, which is fantastic. The content of the reel is always, sometimes it's quite controversial and edgy, and I think that, very much like the awards, can inspire clients and production companies and creatives to actually just push the boundaries even further. So it acts as an inspiration as well as much as anything.
There is a certain amount of intrigue for those people involved, and then obviously outside of that, I think people are always interested to know who the next fresh talent is. So there is that intrigue that builds up around it continuously. There's an anticipation for that.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, it's our goal to also make the theatrical piece just as riveting and exciting as the actual content on the reel. So more and more people are getting excited about the theatrical piece as well, which is a great sign. I mean, that's also our job, more so than choosing what goes onto the reel, is to just create an overall experience that is very memorable and very inspirational. We always start with the directors, and the idea is always rooted in the director and the directorial talents, etc., etc. So if that's included in the foundations of our idea, we always know that we're heading in the right direction. But we try to feed in things that we find very inspiring at the time, things like musicians or graphic designers. Like, for example, this year we got Mark Farrow, to design the logo for us. We can say that, of course, it's already out. Again, we collaborated with Warp Records because they just have a very like-minded creative vision on how things should happen. Again, we collaborated with Marshmallow Laser Feast, who was integral with the creative production and show direction last year. Juliet Lath, again, was involved as producer. So it's just a case of finding the right idea that talks correctly about the directors, and then just getting all the right people in to collaborate in a very focused manner.
The biggest criteria for us in creating that theatrical piece that happens just before the reel is unveiled, our biggest kind of criteria on that is making sure that whatever we do is, if not better, well, should be better than what the reel that you're about to witness is. So we do our utmost best to try to create something that is on the cutting edge of technology, or filmmaking or whatever it is, and we unleash that on the audience, so that they're more wowed by that than hopefully what the directors are showing, because we should be doing the same as what the reel is doing.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the most important part. So when I said it's easy, that's what we aim for, but that's very hard to do, obviously.
I mean, this year we utilised technology again, but in a very different manner. I mean, last year was very dystopian, and we presented the future as this scary idea that was kind of daunting, etc., etc. And this year we really wanted to do the complete antithesis. So this year is genuinely joyous, ethereal, uplifting. And again, we are using technology, and it is at the very center of our piece, but we use it in such a way that it is actually quite touching and moving, rather than scary and intimidating. So that's the exciting part. I mean, we've just discovered throughout the week with our rehearsals that using technology doesn't have to be a thing that makes people feel disassociated from the process. It can actually be quite an engaging and inspiring phenomenon. That's the exciting part for us, that revelation.